Shein, Uniqlo, Zara, H&M, and others. Ever heard of this brand? Or maybe you have learned something from those. They are known in our country who produces fast fashion products. What is that? It is a product characterized by its fast-paced mass production, low-cost garment, and constant style turnover. Basically, they produces fashion clothes to respond to the trends the society has, especially with the presence of social media. These trendy clothes do not even last a year. In a few months, then it is replaced by another trend. And at what cost? The large consumption of fast fashion presents a pressing challenge due to its significant negative impacts on the society, the environment, and the economy. The public problem we intend to address pertains to the escalating environmental issue associated with the fast fashion industry in the Philippines. According to the United Nations Environment Program, the industry is the second largest consumer of water and accounts for around 10% of global carbon emissions, more than all international flights and maritime shipping combined. It escalates the levels of environmental pollution primarily due to the release of toxic chemicals into ecosystems along with a significant increase in textile waste filling up landfills. The industry poses an ever-increasing threat to our natural resources, especially critical in the current context of water scarcity in the Philippines. Unfortunately, the current policy context is marked by inadequate regulation and enforcement. Thus, this proposed policy aims to impose an excise tax on fast fashion products in the Philippines. The primary stakeholders concerned are first the government, which are responsible for formulating, implementing, and enforcing policies related to the fast fashion industry. Second, the industry itself. They are interested in the proposed excise tax as it could affect their production cost and profit margins. Third, the consumers, which may face higher prices for the products. Fourth, the environmental advocates. They play a role in raising awareness and influencing policy decisions. And lastly, textile manufacturers, which may experience shift in demand for sustainable materials affecting their production and business models. Government intervention is imperative in addressing the issues. Several reasons support the need for government policies to mitigate the adverse impacts. First, environmental degradation. The fast fashion industry is a major contributor to such. It consumes major amounts of water and emits a significant portion of global carbon emissions. This degradation includes the release of toxic chemicals into ecosystems and polluting natural resources. Second, unsustainable and overconsumption patterns. Fast fashion promotes overconsumption and a culture of disposable clothing where garments are discarded after only a few wears. Imposing an excise tax serves as a deterrent to such buying pattern. Third, revenue generation. An excise tax on fast fashion products can generate significant revenue for the government. Fourth, global commitments. The proposed excise tax aligns with the international commitments to combat climate change. Lastly, inadequate regulation and enforcement. The problem statement acknowledges the inadequacy of current regulations and their enforcement in curbing the negative impacts of fast fashion. The criteria section of the policy brief includes environmental impact reduction, resource conservation, consumer behavior change, and revenue generation. And now for the proposed solution. We will introduce an excise tax on fast fashion products imposed on items removed from the place of productions or released from the custody of the Bureau of Customs. The tax rate shall be 10% based on the net retail price per 100 GSM, excluding excise tax, of the product and shall be subject to an increase every 3 years. For the requisites to be classified as fast fashion products, it includes, first, it uses polluted and cheap fabrics and is massively produced. Second, low garment quality and high quantity of new styles that focus on branded clothes. Third, extremely low prices such as below 500 pesos or depends on the type of products. And fourth, unsold products are burned or disposed of and environmentally friendly. The person liable shall be the producer, manufacturer, or any importer of fast fashion products and sells such product on the ordinary course of business. As for the timeline of the implementation, we have Year 1 for policy development and consultation, Year 2 for legislative approval, Year 3 for implementation planning, and Year 4 and ongoing will be the policy rollout, implement the tax, monitor compliance, and collect the revenue. Responsible party includes the government. The Bureau of Internal Revenue, Bureau of Customs, and Department of Natural Resources shall also be concerned with the tax policy implementation. A person or entity liable for non-compliance shall be fined at least 50,000 pesos but not more than 1 million depending on the severity and nature of the violation. Revocation of licenses may also be possible. The success of the proposed excise tax policy in the fast fashion in the Philippines can be quantified through specific performance indicators. The details is available on my policy brief submitted to Silverio P. Alvior Jr. That's all and thank you.